All right, so if you're running a small or medium-sized business in South Africa, I'm willing to bet a thought like this has crossed your mind at some point.
And hey, on the surface, that logic is solid, isn't it? I mean, you're not dealing with the government, all your clients are private companies, so why would you get tangled up in what seems like government red tape? It's a totally fair question.
But what if I told you that very assumption, as logical as it feels, could be one of the biggest risks to your business? Let's dig into this because it's probably one of the most misunderstood and most crucial dynamics in the South African economy today.
Yeah, this idea that B-BBEE is just a government thing is a huge myth for SMEs. And honestly, it's a dangerous one. So to really get why, we need to start with the absolute basics. Let's lay a quick foundation.
Okay, so what is B-BBEE? Stripping it all back, it's a core government policy. The whole point is to tackle economic inequality and bring more people into the mainstream economy. It's a really big deal in the country's economic playbook. And that's the key. It all starts with the government.
So to figure out why your biggest private client, who has nothing to do with the government, suddenly cares so much about your B-BBEE status, we have to follow the chain. And it all starts with one single legal requirement. And here's the absolute linchpin of this whole thing. The B-BBEE Act isn't a guideline or a nice-to-have for government bodies. Nope, it is legally binding. It's the law. They have to comply. There's no wiggle room.
So what does that actually mean? It means every single time the government buys something, issues a license, or awards a concession, they are legally forced to choose a B-BBEE compliant supplier. Think of that as the first giant domino to fall.
Okay, so a government rule. Big deal, right? Well, this is where it gets really interesting for you, because that rule doesn't just stop with the government. It triggers this massive chain reaction, a cascade effect that spills right over into the private sector. Let's trace it.
So check this out. Step 1. The government has to buy from compliant companies. We've got that. Step 2. Big Tier 1 companies, the major players, they want those juicy government contracts. Of course they do. Step 3. To even have a shot, they need a fantastic B-BBEE score themselves. And now, the kicker, Step 4. How do they boost their score? A huge chunk of their points come from their own spending, specifically from buying goods and services from smaller, compliant suppliers. Suppliers like you.
Let that sink in for a second. Suddenly, your B-BBEE certificate isn't about you and the government at all. It's about your biggest client winning their business. You've just gone from being just another supplier to being a strategic piece of their puzzle. But the flip side is also true. If you're not compliant, you're not just neutral, you're actually a liability.
So let's put ourselves in your client's shoes. How does this actually change the way they look at your business?
Look at this from their point of view. It's a simple choice. With a B-BBEE certificate, you're not just selling them a product, you're helping them score points. You're a strategic asset. You help them grow. Without it, you're a blank space on their scorecard, a procurement risk, and worse, you are easily replaceable by a competitor who can give them those points. It's not personal, it's just business.
You see how this works? The pressure from the market basically turns B-BBEE from something that feels voluntary into a non-negotiable ticket to play. It's not about politics anymore, it's about survival and getting access to the market.
And that's the absolute key takeaway here. This isn't a political debate. For a small business owner, this is purely about managing a very real, very significant commercial risk. So, the real question isn't, do I sell to the government? The real question is this: can you afford to be a risk to your biggest clients? Can you afford to be the one supplier they have to replace to win their next big deal?
Do not forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.